Hello, I'm Clark Crawford, and welcome back to the latest edition of Clark Crawford Sports. We're talking Astros baseball, of course, here on my YouTube channel, and I'll get to some NFL talk later on here in a couple weeks, if not another month. But for right now, we're talking Astros baseball here on Clark Crawford Sports. And getting right into the action, we have a little bit of, well, it's not breaking news, but some news that happened last night that's still fresh on our minds. And it involves the Astros division rival, the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners, if you've not heard yet, acquired Randy Arozarena, the outfielder from the Tampa Bay Rays, who tormented the Astros in the 2020 ALCS, unfortunately. And he's been pretty good against the Astros for most of his career. So that gets it right into it. The Astros division rival has made a trade. Are you concerned? Are you freaking out? The Astros haven't done anything. Well, I'm here to say there's still time before the deadline. It's not like the deadline is today, which is Friday when I'm recording this video, right before the Astros versus Dodgers series preview. That'll be coming up later in this video. So just a little news. I know it's a little crazy. Some of y'all might be going, well, why is he talking about the Mariners? Well, this directly affects the Astros. So it's a little news that needs to be shared, at least in my opinion. The Mariners have traded for a bat. Are the Astros going to trade for a bat? Let me know down below in the comments if you think who the Astros need at the deadline, or a preferred name that you would like for them to trade for. Recent reports have the Astros linked to many names out on the market, with the Mariners move for Randy Arozarena. The following names the Astros have been linked to, most notably Jameson Taillon of the Chicago Cubs, and then a couple of Tampa Bay Rays players, Yandy Diaz, who plays first base for them and can also DH, and Isaac Paredes, who plays first and third base. I believe he can also play multiple infield positions. So the Astros see the Tampa Bay Rays at the conclusion of their current 9-game homestand, which begins tonight on July 26th. So all my fellow Astros fans supporting the channel, let me know in my newest video today down below, who would you like to see the Astros acquire at the trade deadline? Who is your preferred target? Is it one of these names that I mentioned, one of those three, or is it somebody else? Obviously, we all have our dream trade targets, but some of those may or may not be realistic. But you never know what's going to happen as we get into it and whatnot. So there's still 4+ days left until the deadline, as it is going to be on Tuesday, the 30th. And the deadline will end at 5 p.m. Central Time, which I'm in the Central Time Zone for those of you who don't know me. And so that's how it's going to be. The deadline is 5 p.m. Central on Tuesday, and the Astros still have time to make a big deadline deal. Brings us to your Astros versus A's series recap. And unfortunately, the Astros, if you haven't heard, they dropped 2 of 3 to the A's in Oakland in their final season, or their final series ever at the Oakland Coliseum. Though the good news is the Astros are still 7-3 against the A's this year. They have won the season series against them with 3 games remaining. So even if Oakland won the final 3 games, they would drop the season series to the Astros 7-6. And those games are going to be at Minute Maid Park. The final 3 games between these two division rivals in 2024 are going to be September 10th through the 12th. The Astros 6-game road trip, which was at Seattle and at Oakland, ended with a 3-3 record. Not the best outcome, but certainly not the worst, as the Astros treaded water in those 2 series. But luckily for them, Seattle was swept by the Angels, so they remain, as in the Astros, they remain in first place in the AL West. That takes us to Monday, where Hogan Harris and 3 A's relievers combined to shut out the Astros 4-0. And Monday was Spencer Arrighetti's start. He did get through 6 innings, suffering his 8th loss of the year, though, giving up 4 runs, striking out 3 and walking 1. The offense was just really a dud in this game. Altuve goes 2 for 4, Bregman 1 for 4, Jordan 1 for 3, 2 for 4 for Pena. The Astros get 8 hits, the same amount as the A's did, but the A's were able to bring home 4 runs and win the game. Spencer Arrighetti was okay in this one, as no homers were given up, but I mean, the Astros just couldn't find ways. They got some runners on, as they had double-digit base runners in this game, but unfortunately, they were not able to score, and they were shut out in the series opener against the A's. Hogan Harris, 2-3 on the year now, beat Spencer Arrighetti, who drops to 4-8. The A's jump all over the Astros on Tuesday in the other night game as they beat the Astros 8-2. This game was started by Jake Bloss. He was out-dueled in this one by Osvaldo Bido. Bido goes 5 innings of 1-run ball, striking out 6, and Jake Bloss just was given up. He was a home run machine for the A's. Rooker got him in the first inning to get the scoring started, 2-0. The Astros countered with the Victor Caratini homer, but then Butler homers, Brown homers, and Geloff all homer off of Jake Bloss as he gives up 4 home runs in this game, goes 4 innings, 5 runs, all of them earned while striking out 5. But unfortunately for Bloss, I mean, in a perfect world, Jake Bloss would have been promoted to AAA at this point. He might still be in AA, but by the end of the year, promoted to AAA. And, well, Bloss is up in the major leagues because you're at the very end of your starting pitching depth and really pitching depth in general. And unfortunately for the Astros, they're out of depth right now. They really need to trade for a starting pitcher. But what are you going to do at this point? You've got Jake Bloss and Arrighetti as your 4 and 5. And really, maybe Arrighetti should be up at this point, maybe making his 5th or 6th career start at best. But you've got Bloss and Arrighetti because of all the pitching injuries. And that brings you to an 8-2 loss against the A's on Tuesday night. The Astros dropped the series to the A's, as I mentioned. But luckily, on Wednesday, the Astros were able to salvage a game in the series against the A's. Hunter Brown, the man, I mean, this guy is just giving the Astros a shot in the arm ever since May 5th. Hunter Brown is now 9-6 on the year, 6 innings of 1-run ball, gave up 8 hits. He scattered them, struck out 8, 97 pitches. And like I mentioned in my previous video previewing this series, Hunter Brown gets his season ERA. I was wondering, would he get it under 4 by the end of this outing? Well, it's right at 4.0 ERA in total, so you'll take it, as Hunter Brown was phenomenal again. Brian Abreu scoreless 7th. Taylor Scott scoreless 8th, and Brian King scoreless 9th. The Astros were pretty dominant in this win, 8-1. Yainer Diaz sac fly in the first inning. Altuve knocks in Singleton as he was outstretching a single into a double. McCormick homers in the 5th inning to make it 3-1, and from there, Pena, Altuve, Bregman, and Diaz all have RBIs, and the Astros win 8-1. The Astros remain a game up on the Seattle Mariners as the Astros are 53-49. Seattle's 53-51. They have still played 2 more games than the Astros. So at some point, the Astros will make up those games. So they will have the same amount of games played. That takes you to the end of the Astros versus A's series recap. And that brings us to the Astros versus Dodgers series preview. But before we get to the Astros versus Dodgers series preview, there was also a call-up made by the Houston Astros, which it's as followed. The Astros' top prospect, Jacob Melton, has been promoted to AAA Sugarland. Now, I've been wondering the same thing, but I don't believe it means a trade is imminent, though it could mean a trade is in the works for the Astros because they do have a surplus of outfielders on their major league roster, and also kind of at AAA and AA as well. The Astros have done really well over the years of having a ton of outfielders readily available. Unfortunately, that's not pitching depth, which is what they need the most, but certainly an interesting move promoting Jacob Melton to Sugarland right before the trade deadline. It doesn't mean it's unlikely Jacob Melton gets moved, but at the same time, it could mean Pedro Leon is moved, but it's not a guarantee. So let's look at Jacob Melton's career. Little insight on Jacob Melton. Jacob Melton is a 23-year-old outfield prospect who, as I mentioned, is the Astros' top-ranked prospect in their system. He's a second-round pick in 2022 out of Oregon State. So that brings us back to Jacob Melton's minor league stats as I pull them back up. Jacob Melton on the year has 231 at-bats, 58 hits, 10 homers, 34 RBIs, a 251 average, and a 311 on-base percentage, 757 OPS. He's got 37 career minor league home runs and 715 at-bats, a 249 career average, and a 329 career on-base percentage. So just a little numbers perspective on Jacob Melton. This was as of a couple days ago. I know he had his first start at AAA Sugarland last night, as I know he picked up his first hit on a double down there at AAA Sugarland. So Jacob Melton potentially knocking on the door. I don't think this means Jacob Melton would be called up as soon as this season, though it's definitely something to look at for the rest of the year, because who knows, maybe he gets a unexpected call-up because of an injury or something. I don't know. But at the same time, I think this is really great for his 2025 season perspective and his outlook, because who knows, maybe he makes the opening day roster or is called up early in the 2025 season. Just something to keep tabs on. Jacob Melton has been promoted to AAA Sugarland. Here's your Astros versus Dodgers series preview. The Los Angeles Dodgers 62-42, first in the NL West, versus your Houston Astros 53-49, first in the AL West. The 3-game series versus the Los Angeles Dodgers starts tonight on Friday. As, of course, we all remember, it is a rematch of the 2017 World Series, where the Astros won their first championship in franchise history. Gavin Stone, a right-handed pitcher for the Dodgers, 9-3 with a 3.19 ERA, 101 2/3 innings pitched, 97 hits, 79 strikeouts on the year, versus Framber Valdez, 8-5, a 3.63 ERA, 104 innings pitched, 97 strikeouts, 97 hits, along with 88 strikeouts on the year. And Gavin Stone, a little bit about him. He's a 25-year-old right-handed pitcher who's in his second season with the Dodgers. And a look at his numbers on the year, as Gavin Stone has been, obviously you saw with the 9-3 record, he's been really good. But as of late, he's had his fair share of struggles. He went 3 innings against the Diamondbacks, giving up 4 runs 3 starts ago. Then he went 4 2/3 in a loss, or he picked up the loss against the Phillies, 4 2/3 of 4 runs. And then in his last start, a little bit of a bounce back, 5 innings of 1-run ball against the Boston Red Sox, where he picked up a no decision. And Framber Valdez for your Houston Astros, his last start, as his mound opponent is Gavin Stone. Framber Valdez, last 3 starts, picked up the win against Toronto, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, his 7th win of the year. Against the Marlins in the start after that, 7 innings of 1 earned run, 10 strikeouts. He picked up his 8th win of the year. And then against Seattle, the Astros won the game, but Framber got a no decision, 5 2/3, 2 earned runs, and 6 strikeouts. So Framber's been pretty good as of late in his last 3 starts. He's got a 2.89 ERA in the month of July, and his season ERA is 3.63. That takes us to game 2 of the series, which is going to be between Justin Wroblewski, a left-handed pitcher for the Dodgers, 0-1, a 4.40 ERA, 14 1/3 innings pitched, 13 hits, and 13 strikeouts, versus Ronel Blanco, 9-5, a 2.75 ERA, 114 2/3 innings pitched, with 105 strikeouts. Hopefully Blanco can continue what he's done all season, and there's not the potential signs of dead arm, which is nothing I'm saying he has, but it could potentially come up the rest of the season. Hopefully it does not happen for the Astros' sakes. Wroblewski is a 24-year-old right-handed pitcher. He's a rookie who was recently called up by the Dodgers, as we are made 3 career starts, 5 innings, 4 earned runs against the Dodgers in his only career loss. Against the Tigers, 5 innings, 4 runs, 3 earned, got a no decision. And then 4 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs, easily his best start of the year with 5 strikeouts, which was a career high. So he's coming off of a really good outing where he's still looking for his first major league win. Hopefully it doesn't come against my Astros, but if it does, hats off to him. And the Dodgers are a really worthy team. They're one of the best teams in the league. So the Astros have their hands full at Minute Maid Park this weekend. And Ronel Blanco's season game logs, as it's going to be the month of July. He's made 4 starts in July. The one against Toronto, 5 2/3, he got a no decision, 2 earned runs. Then against the Marlins, 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, picked up his 9th win of the year. But he suffered back-to-back losses in his last 2 starts, 6 innings of 2-run ball against the Rangers, 5 strikeouts. And then against Seattle, where the Astros lost 6-4, 5 2/3, 4 runs, all of them earned with 5 strikeouts. He is 9-5 on the year, and he's got a 3.70 ERA in the month of July. So he's 1-2 in this month with the 3.70 ERA. That tells you Blanco struggled a little bit for how the rest of his season has gone, as he has a 2.75 ERA. But at the same time, the Astros not giving him a lot of run support other than the start in Toronto, where he got the no decision here, where the Astros won 9-2. They won 4-3, lost 4-2, and lost 6-4 in his last few starts. That's going to take us to the series finale and potentially a rubber match if the two teams, split the first 2 games of the series. And that takes us to an undecided Dodgers pitcher. We don't know who that's going to be. As I've mentioned, this video is being recorded on Friday. The Dodgers have not announced their starter yet for Sunday, or not to my knowledge at least. Spencer Arrighetti pitches for the Astros on Sunday, 4-8, a 5.65 ERA, 86 innings pitched, 91 hits, 96 strikeouts. I would prefer at this point if Spencer Arrighetti, if the Astros actually had a couple more starters ready to go, he could be sent down to AAA Sugarland to work on things. I mean, his 5.65 ERA is alarming, but the Astros don't have that luxury right now. It's unfortunate, but that's how things are. A little bit of the offensive numbers, mostly just Shohei Ohtani for the Dodgers, 31 homers, a 3.12 average, and 74 RBIs. He leads the Dodgers in homers, RBIs, average. It seems like every offensive category he leads them in. I mean, of course, Mookie Betts is hurt right now, and he will not play in this series, so that's a big boost for the Astros. But the Dodgers are still a very dangerous team, don't get me wrong. And, of course, the Astros' offensive numbers, 54 RBIs for Yordan, 20 homers, a 3.03 average, and Jose Altuve leads in batting average with 3.07. Now let's take you to Spencer Arrighetti's recent game logs. Spencer Arrighetti's recent game logs. The Astros have lost 4 consecutive starts, all of his starts in July. As you can see here on the screen, Arrighetti suffered losses in 2 of those, going 4 innings, 5 innings, 6 innings, 6 innings. He's given up a total of 14 runs, 13 earned in the month of July. So he's averaging 3.5, close to 4 runs per start given up. He's just been shaky. I mean, he has gotten through 6 innings the last 2 starts, so you hope that's a positive sign. But, I mean, even then, Arrighetti, his July ERA is 5.57, so Arrighetti's going to have to figure something out for the Astros, because if the Astros can get a couple of starters healthy, like I said, I would prefer Arrighetti to be down at AAA Sugarland where he was to start the year, working on a bunch of things, because the Astros certainly didn't think he would make 15-plus starts for the Astros this year as he has now. So it's just kind of is what it is. Arrighetti's up, and he's just, like I said, going to have to figure things out for the Astros. And you just hope for the best there. That's going to be the end of the Astros versus Dodgers series preview. Also, I went through the Astros versus A's series recap, plus telling you about Jacob Melton, the Astros top prospect promotion to AAA Sugarland. And, of course, the Mariners' new acquisition. Who are the Astros going to acquire? I believe they are going to make a trade. We just don't know when and who it's going to be. As some trades are going to trickle in throughout the weekend. And, of course, the deadline is Tuesday, as I mentioned earlier in the video, at 5 p.m. Central Time. So that's going to wrap it up for the latest edition of Clark Crawford Sports here on YouTube. Like my video down below, comment down below, and, of course, subscribe to my channel to see more content throughout the baseball season. And, of course, football is fastly approaching as well. So we're going to have that as well coming up soon for all you football fans. That's going to do it. Thank you all for watching.